All right, Prop the Mic, PTM, coming to you from some familiar surroundings as opposed to yesterday.
Yeah, back to the home base. The outdoor experiment was a failure. The Wi-Fi connection was brutal, but we made it through.
You got to do what you got to do sometimes, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It was either that or no show, so we decided to go
exactly.
for that.
Exactly.
All right, so we have, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games tonight. As we wind down the season, there's most teams only have three games left, so it's pretty much almost over. So we got that, what I would say as a general statement is early this morning we posted up on Twitter what teams these games actually matter for. And there's a handful that it's really impactful whether or not they win. So I think focusing on those teams in terms of player props is important. But in general, I would just say, be cautious over the next couple days. This is a weird period.
Yeah.
So
everyone's excited for the playoffs to start and whatnot. But yeah, these are some days to kind of play lightly and just, get involved with some baseball or something until the playoffs start next week. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But still keep listening to the show.
Of course, the show is important. Yes.
All right. So
no, but you got like a guy like what's his name, Sharp on the Blazers last night, right? It was a close game. The guy was playing awesome, and like he just didn't even play like almost the whole fourth quarter, right? Or at least like in crunch time, right? It was
yeah. There were a lot of people really upset about that because like just claiming that that's like next level tanking. It's like one thing is if you like sit guys, but like when you intentionally hold them out for the last 8 minutes of the game or whatever it was, just to lose, that's ridiculous. So they got to.
Guy's a rookie. Like, come on. I liked your solution that you posted on Twitter last night. That was very nice.
Yeah. I actually sent an email to the commissioner today, proposing it. So we'll see what he says. The
commissioner of the NBA.
Yes.
Not like our fantasy basketball league or something like that.
Nice. But no, the proposal was basically
aggressive.
Take the bottom 8-10 teams, instead of letting them like compete for the bottom, you put them into a similar play-in type of tournament at the end of the year and let them compete to see who wins that, and that team gets the number one pick, and then so I think it's cool. I think it could.
I love
be
that.
Something.
Love that idea. Yeah,
I will let you know if I hear back. Probably not.
See what Adams has to say about that one. All right.
Okay, so let's dive into it. We got the Nets at the Pistons. Pistons are getting 10.5 at home. Totals 220.5. You just threw up a play on Twitter on this one, but why don't you give us an overview of what you like here?
Yeah. I just posted up on Twitter the James Wiseman play. I love and we mentioned it yesterday. Bigs. Multiple categories of bigs, all really performing well against Brooklyn, especially in the last month. So I like Wiseman here. He hasn't seen a line this high in a while, or ever. But I think that's obviously it's a very thin Detroit team, so there'll be a lot of minutes for him. One thing that scared me a little bit, I see Jalen Duren is available tonight, so I know he's been out, but Stewart's out. And,
not just available, I think he's starting too. So
is he starting? Okay,
along with Wiseman. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. So both of those guys. I think one of those guys definitely has a big game. I think I lean Wiseman here on the scoring side of things. I think I could see Duren getting a lot of rebounds maybe. But I liked Wiseman 14.5 points minus 115. 13.5 points. The line actually looks like it moved up to 14.5 now. But he's done that in, I don't have it right in front of me, but I think 8 straight home games, and it's up on Twitter, and 8 of his last 10, if Ivy's playing, which is, it only knocked out 1 or 2 games, and then 20 minutes plus, which he'll have to play tonight because they don't have enough guys. So I see him getting to this very easily. Yeah,
against a Nets team that really doesn't defend the big position very well. So
Yep.
that's a good matchup. I also was on Duren. He's coming off of a 20.14 rebound game against the Heat. Against the Heat, who have a pretty good rim defender, and Bam. And it's for him. It's really about minutes. So, but again, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? Like if they're in the game in the fourth quarter and they're up by like 5 points, they might start to sit these guys. So again, if Duren's line comes out at like 8.5 rebounds or something like that, I would seriously contemplate that because he can get that easily in 3 quarters. So go for that.
Yeah.
All right.
And I also saw your Isaiah Levers, I think, is also out, right? I think everybody's out. Or he's doubtful at least. So that was another rebound guy. So yeah,
that's 4. That's 4 rebounds right there. So
there you go.
He's very consistently at 4. All right. Anybody on the Nets side?
No. I'm staying away. I think because this is obviously a good game for Bridges, but I don't know. Detroit, the game could get out of hand, and he doesn't play much. I don't know. I'm just staying away. What you got?
Yeah, the only thing I don't have an official play, but the only thing I was looking at was Claxton, 2.5 blocks. Which seems like a lot, but I think against this Detroit team, young guys, not familiar playing in these lineups. The lineup changes every day. I think it's a good position for Claxton. So I consider that, but I wouldn't go too crazy with that, just given that it's a really high number.
Yeah.
All right. So, just in terms of the Nets, where they stand, they're in the 6th seed right now in the East. They are 3 back from the Knicks in the 5 seed, so they're not catching up to the Knicks, but they do have a 1-game lead over the 7 seed. So, very important game for them to win because they don't want to slip into the play-in. So, I could see them playing their starters big minutes or until they get a 20-point lead.
Nice.
All right. So speaking about the Knicks are the 5 seed in the East. They are 3.5 back from the 4 seed and 3 games ahead of the Nets in the 6 seed. So really, at this point, this game means virtually nothing for the Knicks. That's why I'd be super cautious about playing really anybody in this game. Pacers are getting 8 points at home. Totals 233. I think both Brunson and definitely Randall are out.
Yes.
So, and I saw Barrett is questionable too. Is he playing or not? Do you know?
I believe he's going to play.
Okay.
He's still listed as questionable, but I see him in the projected starting lineup. So I don't know.
I mean, that opens a lot of shot opportunities for other guys with those 2 guys out, but
dude, I am just salivating over Obi Toppin lines in this game tonight. I want Obi Toppin lines to come out so bad. I think he crushes in this game. He's going to start tonight. Forwards, we have forwards classified in 2 different categories. You're either a shooting forward or you're a forward that finishes at the rim. Toppin's a finisher, right? It's the best matchup on the board against the Pacers. Now, granted, the Pacers are somewhat depleted, so it's not their normal defensive rotations without Halliburton and whatnot, but it's not crazy. And I just think Toppin hasn't had many starts in his career. He also played not far away. He played at Dayton, which is about a 2 hours drive from Indianapolis. So I imagine maybe he's got some coaches coming to see the game or whatever. So I love Toppin in this spot, and I want those lines to come out now.
Something that nobody has ever said before this show.
Yes.
I'm just looking at like where he's performed in the past with like real minutes. In November, he had 26 minutes against the Timberwolves. He had 15 points, so that's good. I don't think his line will be above that. And then let's see, did he ever play 20? No. And then his second game with 25 plus minutes was the last game on Sunday against Washington. He played 33 minutes and had 21 points.
There we go.
I could see, I don't know, what's your guess on what his line will be? Like 13.5, something like that?
Yeah. My initial thought 11.5, 12. I think it's in that range, right? 12.5, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
no-brainer.
That's a
Yeah,
no-brainer.
it's really good.
It's really good. In the last game against Washington, he attempted 8 threes. He shot 3 for 8, so he got this 9 points right there. So, yeah,
So
I like that a lot.
for finishing at the rim.
Well, he'll do both.
No, he does. He's a good 3-point shooter too. Yeah, I mean, well, decent.
So I also like the Nick. Don't go crazy with this because I don't know how many minutes he'll play, but Mitch Robinson over 6.5 points. 2 games versus Indy this year, he had 10 and 10. But the more compelling stat was in his last 7 games without Randall. Who I see him benefiting the most, right? Because Randall takes up a little down low presence. He's gone 7 for 7. So I like that. Even without playing a ton of minutes, he can get 6.5 points. So I like it. Don't love it. I kind of like Obi better if I had to choose between the two.
Yeah. All right,
cool.
Sounds good.
Speaking of those Wizards, did you know Johnny Davis? By the way, they played the Bucks last night, right? I think he's from Milwaukee or something like that.
Okay.
We missed that. That would have been a nice little hometown hero play, and he had a good game.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But anyway, they're playing tonight in Atlanta. They're playing the Hawks. Hawks are the 8th seed in the East, 2 games back from the 7th seed, and they are tied for the 9th seed with the Raptors. So, what do you like here?
Not a lot, but it seems to be the theme here. A couple that I just saw. We could go over some of the matchups here against Atlanta. I mentioned yesterday, bigs were really good. We targeted Vucevic in that game yesterday. He cashed. So I like that. And then your off-ball guards were also some nice matchups. But I think the bigs was one of the better ones here. So who did I like here? So that means Gafford, right, against Atlanta. I liked his points, 11.5 points, plus 100. I just think he's in a tremendous spot. You got no KP, no Denny, no Beal, no Kuzma, maybe Morris too. I don't know. The whole team is out. But he's done this in 2 of 3 games without Denny this year. He's done it in 5 of 6 without KP this year. I think this just sets up very nicely for him. Extra minutes in a good matchup.
Yeah, and he's played Atlanta 3 times this year. 13 in one game, 4 in the next game, and then 13 in the next game. Really, the game that he had 4, he only played 23 minutes. So if you look at the last 3 games, or really the last 5 games, he's averaging 28 minutes. He did only play 21 last night, so but he may have just gotten beat up by Giannis or something. So yeah, it's a decent play. I think I like that one.
Yeah, and then I just had one on the Atlanta side. This just caught my eye. That I love the back-to-backs, and there's so many of them today. So I really I've had some fun today, kind of digging into those historical back-to-back outputs. Sadiq Bey, his last 6 games on a back-to-back, he's had. So the last game he had no threes, but the 5 games before that, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. On back-to-backs this season. So I thought that was pretty cool. His line's 2.5. It's minus 125. So I liked him last night. I cashed on him last night. So yeah, we're gonna go back here. I didn't have threes last night, obviously, but I like it here.
Okay. All right. You always love playing Sadiq Bey.
I do. He had 50 points in a game last year. I like those guys. Like I like these guys that can explode. You know. Yeah. No Trey.
All right. Yeah, I didn't really have anybody. I was thinking about going with Johnny Davis again. 15.5 points. His last 2 games, he's had 16 and 20. So he certainly is getting the playing time. Certainly getting the comfort of being out there. But at the same point, I don't know. He just doesn't have enough history to really feel comfortable. So I'd pass on that one.
Yeah. Okay?
Yep. All right. Next, we got the Raptors at the Celtics. Celtics are -4 at home. Totals 225. I got this sneaky feeling that the Celtics are just going to bench everybody tonight. They're already starting to, like Al Horford sitting, and I could see them just shutting everybody down for the rest of the season. They really have no reason to play. I don't think they might need to fend off the. I don't remember how many games ahead they are of the Sixers, but they're certainly not catching up to the Bucks. So, whereas the Raptors are very much in need of a win, they're the number 9 seed, but they're tied with the Hawks for the number 8 seed. So if they win, they can get out of that first play-in game. So yeah. I like the Raptors in this game getting points. But who do you like in terms of players?
Yeah, Boston's they got 2 up on Philly on the loss column here.
Yeah. I guess that's why they might play tonight and then shut it down after tonight. But
I didn't go with anyone on the Boston side just because obviously that's all up in the air. I like Siakam here. I posted. Or did I post it up yet? Maybe I didn't. But I have 2 plays here on Siakam. I like his points, 22.5 points. He's done this in 8 of 9 games this season on a back-to-back, averaging 24.7. The 2 times he played Boston this year, he had 29 points in both games. And he's done it in 6 of 10 overall, averaging 24.5, so clearing by 2 over his last 10 games. I like that. But then you reminded me that his home road splits on points are not so pretty. So the other play I had on him was his assists, which I ended up going over to after we discussed the points. I like 4.5 assists. He's done it in 8 of 10 overall, averaging 6.2. 7 of 10 on the road, averaging 5.4. The points were 8 of 9 on a back-to-back. The assists are 7 of 9 on a back-to-back, so still pretty good, averaging 6.2. And then the 2 games against Boston this season, he had 10. But of note, Fred VanVleet was out in that game, so that's why the assists ticked up. But in the other game, he had 7, and FVV did play in that game.
Yeah, I like the assists a lot more. I mean, if you look at his points, like you said, he's only crossed on away games. He's only crossed 22.5. 2 out of his last 10 games, one of which was the game we were on him, which was his birthday, where he scored 36. So take that out. He's basically, if you take that game out, it was 8 straight games without crossing, averaging 18.9 points. So I would almost say he could be a fade on points on the road, but his assists are great. Which makes sense. If he's not shooting, he's passing the ball. So I like that play for tonight. Let's go. What is it? 4.5? You said
4.5. Yeah.
Beautiful. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a little juicy. Minus, I've seen it at -135, -140, but
Yeah. Again, you remember the strategy. If it's at like teetering right at that line where you're not comfortable, you can wait 2 minutes into the game and then play it, and you'll get it for a little bit less. And if he happens to get an early assist, then you just pass on the play, right?
Yeah,
move on.
Yep.
All right, cool. I didn't have anybody on the Raptors side. I was a little intrigued by Van Vliet's rebounds. Actually, he's rebounded really well against the Celtics in the past.
Okay,
but I didn't play that officially. I did notice Blake Griffin is starting, so I was tempted by his rebounds, actually, just because I know the Raptors do not rebound well, and I know he, in particular, can rebound pretty well when he gets minutes. So I would look at that. I think that's a sneaky play if prop isn't out yet, but take a look at that one.
Yeah, I love that. Good call. I wasn't even thinking about that. It's a good matchup against Toronto here. I love it. I love a guy like Blake who gets to kind of do his thing in one of these type of games. Have some. It's like a renaissance, to the Blake of old. So I like that quite a bit, and he might get parlayed with Obi Toppin. I love those two.
The athletic guys who don't play very much.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, this could, any of these games could be Blake Griffin's last game too. So he's got to go out. This literally could be, these next 3 games could be the last game that he actually plays any real minutes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
So he might give it his all. All right, cool. Let's move on. We got the Bulls at the Bucks. Bulls are, I think they're the 10 seed. Yep.
Yes, they are.
Two games back from the 9 seed. So they have a little, a goal to try to, at least get the home court advantage in that first game, but it's a long shot. I don't think they're,
and they don't have anyone behind them to worry about, really.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the lack of incentive right there.
Yeah. Everybody in the East that's not in the top 10 is eliminated. Yeah. Not the case in the West, but in the East, yes. Then the Bucks are basically have a 3-game lead, like you said. They're pretty much locked up that 1 seed. Yeah. So I could see the Bucks not really taking this game very serious. Could definitely see the Bulls winning, if not covering with the 6.5 points. But what do you like here, if anything?
Yeah, I stayed away from this game. Yeah, I know you had the Levine, which we can get to in a sec. Just if you want to go over matchups real quick, I think against Chicago, we can look at some of those shooting forwards and some bigs possibly. But who knows who's gonna, how many minutes Giannis is gonna play, whatever. So that's why we ended up kind of staying away from this. But I think it's also a good spot for DeRozan here on the other side. But yeah, what do you got?
Just a Levine under that we posted this morning, under 26.5 points. I've seen others posting that up as high as 27.5, which obviously I would like that even more.
Yeah,
but he's only done this in 2 of his last 11 games on 0 days rest, and he just has a really bad track record against Milwaukee. He's got 8 straight games against Milwaukee, not covering this. And who knows? Like if they may not even play him that much tonight. So I think it's a good spot. I think he ends up with 22, 23 points, something like that.
I think those two UCLA guards might have a little thing, and Drew likes to shut Levine down when he plays them. Maybe that's what it is.
It could be.
Yeah.
Well, they'll both be on the bench probably by the 4th quarter. So
yeah.
All right, let's move on. We got the Grizzlies, number 2 seed in the West, 2 games back from the 1 seed. So they could sneak up on the Nuggets, but again, not likely with 3 games to go. They also have a 2-game lead over the Kings for the at the 2 seed. And then they're playing the Pels. Pels are the 8 seed, and they got a basically, it's interesting. They're pretty much tied with the Clippers and the Lakers. So that's a really tight group right there. So this game matters a lot for the Pelicans, matters a lot for the Lakers, matters a lot for the Clippers. So the next couple of games we're going to talk about are definitely critical. Pels are -5 at home, and total is 228.5.
Yes. What do we like here? One of these I posted up on Twitter already. Was the play on Herb Jones here, because the 2 best places over the last month to target Memphis is bigs, and then like your forwards, power forwards. So that's why I liked Herb Jones. I didn't have a play on Joval. You do have like a revenge now. He played obviously in Memphis for I don't know 2 or 3 seasons. I didn't do too much digging into that. He hasn't been great this season on back-to-backs and whatever. So I kind of stayed away, but I do like these 2 plays on Herb Jones. So I started out at his points as 8.5. He's done it in 3 or 4 overall. If you notice over his last 4 games, he's had a little minute increase here. So I like that. He's done it in 8 of 10 on a back-to-back this season, averaging 12 points per game. His last 2 of 3 against Memphis. His last 7 of 10 at home. His last 8 of 10 at home, if you filter out games where he played under 20 minutes, which shouldn't be a problem here tonight. So I like that. But then I did a little bit more digging, and I think I like his PR even better. One of the reasons why is Memphis has just been like bigs and rebounding have been the number 1 target against Memphis. So I liked adding that rebound on there, the rebounds on there to kind of give us a little bit more flexibility. So 12.5. I think the lines has gone up
13 and a half now. Yeah.
Yeah, 13 and a half now. I had it here at 12 and a half minus 125. I don't know what the 13 and a half is, but
yeah, minus 108. So
okay.
You're moving the market, man.
Yeah, here we go. Last 8 of 10 on a back-to-back, averaging 17. His last 4 straight, averaging just under 16. His last 8 of 9 when he plays 28 plus minutes, averaging 19. His last 7 of 9 at home when he plays 25 plus minutes, and 3 straight games against Memphis, averaging 15.3 PR this season against Memphis.
Yeah, and those games were all before the new year. So Steven Adams was playing in those games. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I like that a lot. He had 11 rebounds in the last game against Memphis alone, right? So he almost cleared the PR just in the rebounds. So
yes, sir.
That's a good one. I like that.
Thank you.
Just talking about Joval too. I looked at him because it was an obvious play here. But his minutes are coming back down. So he's been playing like 25, 26 minutes again. So they're probably just trying to, play him, but not wear him out before the play-in games. So I also would stay clear of him, even though it's enticing.
Yeah. All right. And then I had a couple here on the Memphis side. Matchup wise, it's not really bigs are a good matchup here. That's probably the number one. Yeah, I guess that's bigs and point guards are the 2 places to look against New Orleans in the last month or so. So I went with the bigs here. So Xavier Tillman, I know you'll love this. Over 1.5 assists, minus 130. What?
I like the big assists. Yeah,
minus 135. He's done this in all 5 games on a back-to-back this season. 5, 5, 3, 3, 2. So not even just like getting 2. The last 2 times he played on a back-to-back, he had 5 assists in both games. Wow. He's done it in his last 9 of 10 on the road. He's done it when he plays more than 14 minutes. It's just factoring out games, a few games there where he played like 6 minutes, whatever. He's done this in 24 of 30 games this season when he plays more than 14 minutes. And he's done it in 14 of 17 games. Only missed it 3 times in games this season without Steven Adams and without Brandon Clark.
Nice.
Yeah. So that was cool. I thought I love those nice low lines. I also thought his rebounds were good. It's also pretty low, 6.5, and it's plus 108. He's also done this in 5 straight games when he plays more than 15 minutes, averaging 8.5. And he's done it in his last 4 of 6 on a back-to-back, averaging 7.5.
Yeah, why did he only play 13 minutes against Portland in that last game? Any idea?
I don't know.
The 5 games before that, he played 30-plus minutes, and he crushed this rebound line. So, to me, having some understanding of what his playing time is going to be tonight, like if he's going to play 25-plus minutes, I think I love that rebound line at 6.5. If he's going to play 12, 13 minutes again, he ain't getting there. So,
yeah.
So, yeah, maybe dig into that game.
Yeah. Was that game That was
last night. Yeah.
Yeah. What happened? That game was pretty close too.
Yeah, it was a close game. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
I'm looking here.
He didn't have foul. He didn't even have a foul.
No, didn't have any fouls. Huh.
All right, we'll dig into that. If you can get a solid understanding of why he only played 13 minutes and it was more of an anomaly than a trend, then I would I'd certainly jump on these. I kind of like the rebounds.
I think it was probably a combination. I think Roddy was hot last night. He went 4 for 6. Ended up playing 27 minutes. I think he ate into his playing time because they were riding with his hot hand. But
yeah, they were actually struggling against the Blazers. They kept getting an 8-point lead, and then the Blazers would crawl back. So I could definitely see that being part of the story last night. Is they just finally started to get a rhythm with a bunch of guys, and they just stayed.
Yeah, and they stuck with it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then one other quick one: Jaren Jackson, 3+ blocks is plus 150. He's done it in 5 of 6 games this season on a back-to-back. 4, 5, 1, the only miss. 5, 3, 3. He's done it in 5 straight games against New Orleans, 6, 3, and 5 this season, 4 and 3 last season. We love it.
I like that. I think this type of team is a good matchup for him, like a stationary big like Joe Val is perfect for getting blocks against. So.
Yes.
All right, cool. Very good. All right, let's move on to the Kings at the Mavs. Mavs are the big question mark, to tank or not to tank, right?
Lucas said he ain't doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. They're the 11 seed right now. They're half game out from the play-in game. You just made the investment to bring Kyrie in. You traded away all your assets. I don't know how like you even can look your fan base in the eye if you decide to sit any of these guys, right? They got a perfect opportunity to sneak in and then go on a run and try to do something. So
exactly, things haven't been good, but things could be great. When you have two guys like Luka and Kyrie, things could be all sunny and rosy, like at the
yeah.
you know.
And here's the thing too. This is a home game. I was digging into Luka a little because we were talking about that earlier. Luka and Kyrie have only played 5 games together in Dallas.
I know, it's wild,
right? So it's like they haven't even really played that much together. So it's hard to really make any judgment of how good they can be. But anyway, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, so I texted you earlier. I just think there's no way that Luka doesn't just go bonkers in this game. I think he came out yesterday and said that like tanking is not, something that he's considering. And like, obviously, especially after the run they went on last year and everything you just said, the acquisition of Kyrie, he's going to make it happen tonight. So I like his points, 32.5 points. It's high. He's done it in his last 11 of 13 this season when he plays more than 30 minutes. I like that he's averaging over 35 points in his last 13 games. So I like that.
He's also he has also done this in 5 of his 8 games that he played with Kyrie, I think it is, and 4 of the last 5. So he is definitely getting there. This is a 241-point game against the Kings, who play 0 defense. The Kings
they're on a back-to-back. Dallas is on 2 days rest.
They're on a back-to-back. They're going to be resting guys, starting to rest guys. Like I think the Mavs just totally like put up a ton of points tonight, and I think Luka, this could be a 40, 50-point game for him. So I think it's a good play. I also like his turnovers, which we played the other day. 3.5 turnovers is the line. It's at plus 102. He's done this in 7 of 10 games with Kyrie, and his last 6 games? 6, 2, 5, 5, 6, and 6. So he's not only clearing it, but he's clearing it by a margin. Like he's almost doubling it. So he plays fast. He is a little sloppy with the ball. Like I could easily see him throwing the ball away, trying to get fast breaks and such. So easily 6. I could easily see him getting 4 turnovers, if not 5 or 6 tonight.
Yeah, let's go back to the well on that one. I like it. Yeah. I had one other on the Sacramento side. Were you good on Dallas side?
Yeah, I'm done with this game.
Okay. Just one other. This is another one right in your wheelhouse here. Kevin Huerter, over 2.5 assists, minus 140. He's done this in 9 of 10 games this season on a back-to-back. He's done it in his last 7 of 9 overall, averaging 3.3 assists per game over his last 9 games.
Nice. I like that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let's move on. We got the last game is the Lakers at the Clippers in your backyard there. Lakers are the number 7 seed. Clippers are the number 6 seed. So they're both basically vying for to
get out of the play.
And so this will be a competitive game, assuming everybody suits up. But I don't know how you don't, right? Like this has a huge implication on whether or not you're going to land in the play-in or not.
Yeah.
Totals 228. Clippers are favored by 5 points. Neither of us really had plays on this one, but the one interesting narrative is this is Westbrook's first game against the Lakers since getting released or whatever, I don't know, cut and then traded or whatever happened.
Yeah.
Did he get traded? Oh, he got traded to the
He got traded,
Jazz.
then released, and then signed. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. We were debating. His assists have been pretty good the last 4 games. 10, 10, 11, 9. Points, he'll definitely score 10 plus points. So we were kind of looking maybe at a double-double for him at plus 175. Seems like he could get that on assists and points. And who knows? Maybe you get a triple-double tonight. He's going to be motivated.
Yeah. Would you look at his like a steals prop or something? It seems like I don't know. Seems like the kind of thing he might want to try to do tonight, right?
Yeah, I could see steals. I didn't look at his turnover prop, but I could also see him just turning the ball over a ton tonight too, just trying to do too much.
It's 3.5 minus 3.5 plus 105. Yeah, he's done this in last 5 of 9.
You know, it's funny. Like I never realized until this season how much like the stars in the league, they play big minutes, so obviously that's going to lead to turnovers. But how sloppy they are with the ball. Like, you know,
like just Harden and Luka,
Harden and Luka and Curry, who you think is like one of the best ball handlers ever. Just so careless with the ball. It's like they just throw the ball away all the time. So getting more and more intrigued by these turnover props, especially in these sloppy end of the season games. So that could be another angle. But
all right.
Anyway, that one will be fun to watch. Not a lot of plays on that one. So, but we got enough for the earlier ones. So good.
Yeah. All right. Nice work. So much for keeping it at 10 minutes.
Yeah, we wanted to do 10. We ended up at 37. So pretty close.
A lot to talk about, you know. There's not a lot of season left, so
I was just excited by the strength of the Wi-Fi connection today. So
we're not going to do that again. All right, enjoy the games.
All right,
nice work. All right, bye.